When people think about retirement, they often focus on numbers. How much do I need to retire? Will my money last? Can I afford to travel? But what if the most important part of retirement isn't financial at all? Hi, I'm Melody. I retired in 2025 after a long career in technology. And now I'm focused on building a retirement that is not just secure, but meaningful, peaceful, and truly fulfilling. Because at the end of the day, the question isn't only, can I afford retirement? It's what actually makes retirement life feel rich. There's a remarkable study from Harvard, the longest running study on human happiness ever conducted. It followed people for nearly 80 years and is still ongoing today. What they found was surprisingly simple. The single strongest predictor of happiness and health is the quality of our relationships. Not wealth, not fame, not achievement. Relationships. People who had strong, warm connections lived longer, they were healthier, and they were happier. And people who were lonely, even if they were successful in other ways, they struggled more with both physical and emotional health. That really makes you stop and think, because many of us, myself included, spent decades building careers, managing responsibilities, getting things done. And now in retirement, we finally have time. So the question becomes, where should that time go? If we follow the research, and honestly, if we follow our hearts, it should go towards people. Not all relationships look the same, and each type brings something different into our lives. For many of us, family is at the center. Children, grandchildren, siblings, parents, extended family. These relationships can be deeply meaningful and sometimes complicated, but they are often threads that run through our entire lives. In retirement, we have more opportunity to be present, not just showing up, but really being there, listening, engaging, and creating memories. And sometimes those memories are very simple. Sitting together, going for a walk, or listening to a story that you've already heard 1,000 times before. But choosing to be fully present for it. Those are the moments that seem small at the time, but they're the ones that stay with you. And I found this to be especially true in my own life. One of my favorite parts of my week is the day I spend with my granddaughters. I get to play with the baby, and then later I pick up my older granddaughter from school. Sometimes we go to the park. Sometimes I'll buy her a little afternoon snack. And sometimes we visit the library together. There's nothing particularly complicated about it, but those simple moments are incredibly meaningful. And it's not just about me. It also helps my older daughter and son-in-law as they manage a busy family life. It becomes something we all share. Another way I stay connected with my family is with my younger daughter, who lives a little further away. We make it a point to connect every week by playing a computer game. It's a simple farming game called Stardew Valley. And it might sound like a small thing, but since I retired, having that regular time together, it's brought us closer together. It's given us a shared activity and something to look forward to, and a way to stay connected even at a distance. I think that's an important reminder. Connection, it doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be intentional. For those who have a partner, this relationship becomes even more central in retirement. You're no longer just passing each other between busy schedules. You're sharing daily life more fully, and that can be a gift if it's nurtured. Bring your best self to this relationship. Also, keep in mind that one person cannot meet every social need. It's important to have other connections too. Now, this isn't a part of my own life right now, but I can clearly see how much joy and stability it brings to others when it's well cared for. Switching from family to friends, there's something special about people who've known you for years. They've seen different versions of you. They know your history. They understand your story. They remember who you were, and they see who you are becoming. There's a comfort in that kind of relationship. You don't have to explain everything. You don't have to start from the beginning. And these friendships don't always require constant contact, but they do need tending. A phone call, a visit, a simple check-in, that's all it takes. And sometimes just reaching out and saying, "I was thinking about you." Those small moments can reconnect you more quickly than you might expect. I have a dear friend that I've known for more than 20 years. We've seen each other through all kinds of ups and downs in this messy thing we call life. We live far away from each other now, but whenever we get the chance to call each other, it's wonderful to catch up. And those connections are a part of the foundation of life. Then there are new friends that you can create through shared interests. This is an area where retirement really opens doors. You can build friendships around hobbies, volunteering, church or spiritual communities, or even neighborhood activities. These relationships often start small and grow over time. Not every relationship has to be deep to matter. Every week, we cross paths with other people in simple ways. A cashier who checks out your groceries, a librarian that you pass by on your way to find a book, a restaurant server bringing your lunch. With those people, something as easy as a warm smile, a kind word, or some other pleasant small interaction, they add up to improve both your day and theirs. And finally, there's our pets. They also form meaningful relationships with us. They are there with you every day. They notice your routines. They sit beside you in quiet moments. They comfort you when you are not feeling well. They offer something very simple and very powerful: companionship and unconditional affection. In retirement, when life can become a little quieter, that presence matters even more. There's something deeply grounding about caring for another living being. It gives your day a rhythm, a sense of purpose, and a kind of connection that doesn't require words. And I think there's something important to remember. While we have many relationships in our lives, for them, you are everything. It's important to say this clearly. Relationships don't always come easily. I'm an introvert, and I know well by personal experience that sometimes they take effort, and sometimes they feel uncomfortable. And reaching out, it can feel awkward. Staying connected takes intention, but the alternative is slowly becoming more isolated. And that's something many people experience without even realizing it. We are living in a time where loneliness has become very common. Loneliness has been linked to increased risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, depression, and shorter lifespan. What makes this especially challenging is that loneliness doesn't always feel dramatic. It can feel quiet. A day goes by without talking to anyone, then another and another. And over time, that becomes your normal. That's why being intentional about connection matters so much. There's one more relationship that I think is important to talk about, and that's the relationship you have with yourself. Because in retirement, you spend a lot more time with you, and that can be a wonderful thing. Or it can feel a little uncomfortable, especially if you're not used to it. For many years, life is structured around work, responsibilities, and other people's needs. And when that structure changes, you're left with more space. And in that space, your thoughts, your habits, and your inner dialogue become much more visible. So the question becomes, is your relationship with yourself kind? Do you enjoy your own company? Do you speak to yourself with patience and understanding? Or are you critical or restless or uncomfortable being still? Because the truth is, every other relationship in your life is influenced by the one with yourself. When you feel grounded and at peace within yourself, you bring that into your relationships with others. It makes you show up differently, and it helps you to be more present, more patient, and more open. That makes every connection in your life stronger and better. So when you are considering what is really important in retirement, the people in your life will matter far more than the stuff in your life. What stays with you are the moments with people, the conversations, the laughter, the shared experiences. Someday, we won't be here. What will remain are memories, the way we made people feel, the kindness we offered, the time we choose to spend with others. When someone remembers you, will it bring a smile to their face? That's the kind of life worth building. If this resonated with you, I'd love for you to reflect on a couple of questions and share in the comments. Who in your life could you reach out to this week? And where might you create more space for connection in your daily life? I'm really glad you chose to spend this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.